Hey yo, it's Brian here. Today, not talking about the San Francisco 49ers. This does pertain to them a little bit because there's a former Panther players on the 49ers right now. Top of my head, you got Sam Darnold, backup quarterback right now, Christian McCaffrey, the star-studded running back, and defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. They're all from the Carolina Panthers from last year and a year or two ago. Now you look at the situation what they're into right now. Panthers have fired head coach Frank Reich after 11 games. That is crazy right there. This kind of pertains to me a little bit because I am from the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I currently live there right now. This is pretty big news for us people in the Charlotte area. That's really quick right there. This is probably quicker than Urban Meyer when he was in Jacksonville a few years ago. I believe in 2021. There's a lot of instability with David Tepper and the Panthers overall. Keep firing coaches every year when you're not giving chances like Steve Wilks an opportunity to be a coach after he did pretty good last year in 2022. There's just a lot of dysfunction right there. And honestly, as much as Steve Wilks should have been the head coach of the Panthers, I still believe he should be the head coach of the Panthers. I think that it was probably a better move that he came to the 49ers anyways, just because of the fact that there's just so much instability with David Tepper. You don't know what he wants. You don't know what he needs. He acts like a Daniel Snyder type figure where he wants very hands-on on the football operations, and so far it's yielding very little to no success. Hopefully they get a page out of, I'd say, Jed York right now, because York was very heavily involved between the Harbaugh and the Kyle Shanahan years, and it didn't work out. And when you hired Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch as coach and GM, he stayed completely out of the way, and he's been out of the way for the most part for the past 6-7 years. He's learned his lesson, and he's had a lot of success as a 49ers owner and NFL owner in general. Tepper should take something out of that, really, because most owners, Marcus Merritt minus Jerry Jones, should not be involved in football operations. You might have the money, but that doesn't mean you could buy a championship ring, right? So just looking at this whole situation, the Panthers are just completely screwed, I'd say, for the next few years. Can they rebuild and have a great team eventually? Yeah, of course. It can happen to any team. But for right now, the situation looks really dire in terms of the fact that they fired the coach already less than a year into his tenure. Bryce Young, he's shown a little bit, but he doesn't really have much going on to work with. He doesn't have an offensive line. When your best receiver is 33-year-old Adam Thielen, that's a big problem right there. The defense has actually been playing okay. You have I can't say his name. Israel Evero, the defensive coordinator right now, he's doing a pretty good job, I would say, with the Panthers defense for what they got. But offensively, they struggle mightily. And Frank Reich is an offensive guy. Unfortunately, it's not working out. But in return, the GM, he's not really doing much in terms of giving talent. They traded a lot of picks away to get the number one overall pick last year or this past offseason. They gave up DJ Moore in that pick, which was, I thought, a terrible move right there. The draft picks are one thing, but you have to have some good players when you rebuild. And the Panthers right now, they're not really doing anything to ensure success for Bryce Young. And honestly, if we say Bryce Young is a bust, yeah, a little bit has to do with him, his size and whatever, but not really surrounding him with any talent and much to work with no draft capital. That's a big loss right there. As you all know, the Panthers are supposed to have the number one overall pick by a virtue of being 1-10 right now, and they'll probably stay at that because I don't know if they're going to win any more games beyond this Sunday and what have you. But when you look at it, it's just that number one overall pick is going to be with the Chicago Bears after that pick. So the Bears are winning very big time. I can see them drafting a really star-studded player like Marvin Harrison Jr., something like that, or even if they want to go to a different quarterback direction, which I don't really recommend because just changing quarterbacks is not going to solve your problems. You got to just work what you got, and you got to have a good supporting cast. So Chicago could do whatever they want, but the Panthers are going to have to wait a long time to get some draft picks, or they're going to even trade up to get some assets. It's just a really bad situation, and any future head coach or any coordinators or anything like that are thinking about this job, you better think twice. Not just because the Panthers are just constructively poorly in terms of the roster and stuff like that. It's just the owner, David Tepper, is very volatile in terms of what he wants and stuff like that. If you don't get what you want, if you don't do what he tells you to do, then you're pretty much going to get fired. And that's just something that I wouldn't want to deal with personally, unless I got the assurance that I have total control of the roster and he's going to be out of the way. I don't think that's going to be happening at all. Very messy situation. So, Panther fans, we can kind of relate to this situation with the 49ers years ago, decade ago, with Jed York being a little bit volatile, but he's doing a really good job staying behind the scenes, and that's how it should be for owners. Just make the money, keep it as a passive income, be involved in the business operations, but not the football side of operations. That's what I would say, honestly. So, Panther fans, I'm a native Charlotte guy, so I root for the Panthers too when they're playing in town, except when they play the 49ers. hoping for the best for them, but at the same time, it's looking like a really messy situation, and I'm hoping that they can get this sorted out within a year or two, or probably 3 or 4 years. Just the way the team is built and the no capital that they pretty much have for trading all the way up to the number one pick this past offseason to get Bryce Young. So, yep. That's pretty much it, you guys. Please let me know what you guys think about the whole Panthers and Frank Reich situation. Do you think it was his fault, Bryce Young's fault, the team, David Tepper? Please, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. I'm pretty sure some of you guys know about this whole situation. You guys probably follow other teams, not just the 49ers if you're on my channel. Love to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, like and subscribe if you're new to this channel, and I hope to catch you guys up tomorrow when I predict the game between the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles happening on Sunday. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your night. Go Niners all day.